Takeba-san? You're dressed in a kinda interesting way.
Huh? Oh, this? Yeah, I got picked up suddenly from my job and I didn't have any time to change. I bet I'm never gonna hear the end of this. Also, you can just call me Yukari. I hope we get along, Labras.
But to think that organization would come after us now at such an important time. If Kurosawa-san hadn't gotten that tip, we'd be doomed.
Hey, right. What's going on with those guys? Who are they again? Public safety?
Oh, that's right. You don't know.
Ken-kun politely explains the situation to me. Some people in the public safety department don't think well of the shadow operatives. When Mitsuru-san and the others went missing, public safety took advantage of this confusion and attempted to take control over the shadow operatives' headquarters. They had been trying to remove Mitsuru-san from a position and showed up at the lab in an attempt to confiscate me for evidence. To move this quickly after she disappeared, though, public safety must have some way of knowing what's going on within the shadow operatives.
They say Mitsuru-san set everything up. She would never.
I can't understand it either. All this about honor and adult circumstances is foolish.
Yeah, but there are some people in public safety who don't agree with that. Or else Kurosawa-san wouldn't have gotten that anonymous tip.
Oh,
Good.
that reminds me. I wonder if Kurosawa-san's okay.
Keep your politics out of the whatever.
Koromaru says that he's alright.
Huh? Can you understand dogs too, Yukari-san?
Well, no, but I've known Koromaru for a while, and that just seems like what he's saying. I'm sure Kurosawa-san will be just fine.
Koromaru-san's white fur reminds me of something. Snowy. My friend who I met on that southern island. I can tell from Yukari-san's words that all the other people here in this helicopter know each other very well.
So where are we going now anyway? We're gonna go look for Mitsuru-san and them, right?
Right. It looks like there was an increased shadow reading someplace called Inaba, and they were headed there. We'll go that way for now.
Inaba.
That's right, this could be a continuation of the events from yesterday. An ordeal. Elizabeth's words from my dream echo in my mind.
So gloomy. I'm sure Mitsuru-senpai's fine. She's got Akihiko-senpai, Fuka, and even Igus with her after all. Oh, right. You're Igus's sister, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. I was made just before her, though.
You seem so stiff. You don't need to be so polite with us.
I heard that you were an earlier model than Igus-san, but you don't seem less advanced at all. You seem perfectly normal. Do you fight with that axe you're carrying? Could I touch
No, I
it?
just carry it for her looks. The two of them are interacting with me quite normally, even though they know I am a machine. Even though they must know what happened in Inaba and about my past. That acceptance makes me happy. Koromaru-san is gazing intently at me too.
Yukari-san, have you been able to make contact with Iori-san?
A voice from the cockpit interrupts us. Kikuno-san, Mitsuru-san's maid, is in the pilot's seat. She seems demure, but if she can pilot a helicopter like this, the skills seem to know no limits. But I've been told that Kikuno-san isn't a persona user. Isn't it dangerous for her to come with us in a situation like this?
I completely forgot. Hold on a sec.
Yukari-san pulls out his cell phone. It seems they are trying to meet with Junpei Iori, another part-time shadow operative and also a fellow comrade since high school. While Yukari-san is on the phone, I decide to ask Kikuno-san about the doubts I have.
Saikawa-san, you're not a persona user, are you?
Please call me Kikuno. And no, I only have the potential towards the Dark Hour.
Oh, I didn't know you had that. Even the maids in the Kirijo family are amazing.
So that means you can't fight shadows, right? And ain't it dangerous for you to come along?
If I have the correct information, then the grotesque monsters known as shadows, our enemies, can only be defeated by people who can use personas. In other words, since Kikuno-san is an ordinary human, she could never defeat a shadow, even if she was the most proficient warrior in the world. If she ever encountered a shadow on her own, Kikuno-san would face immediate death. And yet she smiles warmly as she answers me.
There are more ways to deal with shadows than the direct method. We've never met in person, but I was involved in the operation to rescue you last time. We all do whatever we can to the best of our abilities to fulfill the roles we've been given. That is what it means to fight.
Yay!
Wow, she's a true professional.
To be honest, I don't understand. True, Kikuno-san is helping us, but piloting the helicopter for us. But if that's all it took, then someone could easily program me with the ability to fly the helicopter, and there would be no need for Kikuno-san to be exposed to the dangers of having to join this operation. I can't think of any other words to say, and I look away from her. I end up meeting Ken-kun's eyes. I feel a little awkward.
It's no use, he's not picking up. This is so important. Why now?
Yukari-san puts down a phone and turns to us again. Everyone's attention returns to getting up to speed on the current situation.
Oh well. We'll just have to begin our search on our own.
You know,
Okay.
Kikuno-san, I'm surprised you knew where we were without having to contact us at all.
I traced the GPS signals from your cell phones. We're still partners with the police force, so it's no problem to do that in an emergency. Then again,
Oh, really?
we've just seen how even that doesn't always help.
You mean about Junpei-san?
It's like he's going out of his way to inconvenience us.
Yukari-san's eyes with somewhat astounded expression. As I reflect that this Junpei-san appears to be something of an odd person, Kikuno-san taps her armrest as if remembering
I
something.
almost forgot. Labra-san, please review these documents until we arrive at our destination.
This is probably the stuff they meant to tell her at the beginning. With that, Kikuno-san hands me a folder.
Labra-san asked me to tell you about this, but under
There we
the
go.
circumstances, would you please look through the material on your own?
As I flip through the documents in the thick file, I notice that certain names appear again and again. Mitsuru, Akihiko, and the names of everyone here. What is this?
It's a summary of the activities that took place 3 years ago.
3 years ago. You must
Okay, so it's a
mean-
3-year gap.
I see. Whoever's behind what's going on is definitely
All the
connected
questions
to
are getting
those
answered.
events.
3 years ago refers to the incident leading to Mitsuru-san and the rest meeting one another. I haven't had the chance to go over it in detail, but supposedly it's the case that became the impetus for Mitsuru-san to establish the Shadow Operatives, and the bonds that they have formed among each other. They were nurtured through the battles they took part in back then. Such deep connections look radiant to my eyes. I decide that it's important that I learn more about what happened then. As important as learning more about who or whatever is behind the events going on now. If I just wanted information on it, I could easily just transfer that data directly into my memory. But by actively reading it like this, I will be able to understand what happened. Her thoughtfulness of treating me the same as a person makes me happy. Kikuno-san glances at me once more and nods slightly, as if in approval.
I
Huh?
think it looks good on you. A proper appearance is important when going out on a grand stage.
Does she mean the uniform I'm wearing? Oh, I get it. She must have been the one who prepared the Yasugami uniform that Kurosawa-san gave me. The sudden compliment is a little embarrassing, but I can't help but smile. I mean, this uniform, to me, it's proof of my connection to Yukun and his friends.
Thanks.
Kikuno-san reacts with a small smile, then produces some other items.
Yukari-san, Ken-san, I have acquired evokers and suitable weapons for you.
That's right, Persona 3 was the gun one.
Wow, thank
Persona
you.
4 was the glasses.
This would be the best for me.
Ken-kun takes his spear from Kikuno-san and sits back with a satisfied expression. The spear is longer than Ken-kun is tall, but he seems confident. Wouldn't such a weapon be too unwieldy for him to handle?
Kikuno-san, what is this?
Kikuno-san hands Yukari-san what appears to be a large pink bow that perfectly matches the suit she's wearing. Upon seeing it, Yukari-san looks baffled.
It's the ultimate arrow!
It's so pink.
I acquired reference material from the publisher and had it made. Don't worry, it's more functional than the prop on your show.
I'm pretty sure that makes it the best bow ever created, but...
In actual combat, I thought that using a form factor you're comfortable with would be best.
There we go.
I wasn't expecting you to have a logical explanation like that.
Was my arrangement unnecessary?
Yeah, it was unnecessary. No, it's fine.
I like it. Can I see it for a moment?
As Ken-kun reaches toward the bow with interest, I sense the helicopter tilt slightly to the
We're
side.
circling around. Please hang on to something.
Hold on to your butts. The helicopter leads more sharply as Kikuno-san speaks. It seems that we need to take on more fuel before we reach Inaba. I reflect on Elizabeth's words as I look down at the view spreading out below us. It reminds me of that mysterious sea-like place. Okay, I was like, we're going to cut it. The air in the helicopter is heavy. Upon reaching the last known location of Mitsuru-san and the others, we immediately saw that the guardrail is broken, as if a car had smashed through it. We looked down the cliff and discovered a black vehicle below, unmistakably Mitsuru-san's limousine. There were no skid marks on the road that indicate braking, and the car's body was seriously damaged. It appeared that it had been going at a very high rate of speed when it hit the barrier. Everyone paled in an instant, and we were all at a loss for words. But the driver was the only person in the vehicle, and though he was injured, there were no traces of blood from anyone other than him in the car. We wondered for a moment if the others had been able to leave the vehicle on their own, but if they had, they would have tried to contact us. It also seemed odd that they left an unconscious and injured man behind. Furthermore, there were no footprints around the vehicle at all. We did another search for their GPS signal, but there were no signs of their whereabouts. That left us with only one conclusion.
To think about it. But does this mean that they've been captured?
Yeah, maybe.
Let us be optimistic and assume that they're still alive. If they were captured, then the enemy values their lives and will do no harm. We do have a chance.
I carried the injured driver from the bottom of the cliff back up to the road. Kikuno-san requested a vehicle to transport him to the hospital under the Kirijo family's care. Kikuno-san made this decision since we wouldn't have been able to explain what happened to a normal ambulance. Also, it's possible that the people from public safety would take him away if we reported this to the authorities. Kikuno-san asked the personnel who ride with the transport to try to ask the driver about what happened when he regained consciousness. That will likely be difficult, however. If this is similar to what happened last time, the driver would have no memories of the events, much like the people who captured me and transported me to Inaba last time. However, there's no guarantee that the same had happened to the limousine driver. Not long after, we were back in the helicopter, which takes us to where we are now. To be honest, everyone's at a loss for how bad the situation is. Ken-kun tries to change the topic in an attempt to divert us from our worries.
It's amazing
shifts
that
are
you know
driving
how
me
to
nuts.
pilot a helicopter, Kikuno-san. I heard that it's hard to hover in the mountains. Did you train for that?
Only a couple of years ago, but I have taken part in an assault operation involving a helicopter.
You
Oh.
were in an assault with a helicopter? Where?
Just a high school dormitory.
Huh? Oh yeah, I remember that.
I decided to learn how to pilot in the event that if someone attempted the same move, I would be able to respond properly.
Nice. My understanding has been renewed. It seems that being a maid is a very serious and very difficult occupation.
Oh, damn. Well, I finally got in touch with Junpei. I don't know why, but he's already at Yasou Inaba Station, so I told him to stay there.
I kind of want to play his
In
bit
any
just to
case,
know
we
why.
should head to Inaba too. We might find some kind of clue there.
Mitsuru-san's group had gone missing before sunset. And it's almost midnight now.
Whoever did this must be the same person who
Oh,
kidnapped
it's almost time.
Labra's son. It's unthinkable anyone else would be able to do that. The question is what he intends to accomplish by kidnapping them.
Ken-kun flips through the reports on the events of the case up until now, seemingly lost in thought. What is to be gained by kidnapping Mitsuru-san this time? At that moment, heavy static flickers across the video displays within the helicopter. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, this worked. Paint the town red.
Strong wind, while the weak disappear.
Turn on the coffee
We
to
will
heat it up.
witness the hottest battles in all history. The goddess of victory is waiting to descend upon the ring. P1 fans, are you ready? Are you ready?
Time to let loose an all-out war!
So did they just recycle this from the first one? Because
P1 Grand Prix
Rise is playable in this one.
right on the heels of the last one.
She's not just General Teddy's eye candy.
Another legend here at the world-shattering P1 ring.
I also love that they translated the names for the
Sparks will fly.
into large letters for the
Some fight for
American,
glory. Some fight
well,
for glory.
the English release, but they're still in the kanji for this one.
Will this be decided by pure muscle, or will a battle of wits determine the outcome? Things are heating up! Tonight, who will win the title of champion? Who will be crowned with the winner's wreath? Whose tale of glory will resound for generations? All that remains are the dreams of the Warriors. As the Grand Prix plunges into its final chapter, the P1 Climax is...
Barely getting started!
Well, there we go.
What was that just now? Weren't those the Persona users in Inaba? It showed Mitsuru-senpai and the others, too.
I read the case records. If I recall correctly, was that the Midnight Channel that was being broadcast in Inaba? I was on it too, but it wasn't like that last time.
All of us in the helicopter are utterly confused. Who would broadcast something like that, and why? The P1 Climax is obviously a continuation of the fighting tournament. Suddenly, the monitor switches to another feed.
Yoo-hoo! Have you been well, Lobby-chan?
General Teddy? But I thought I already...
General Teddy. In the recent P1 Grand Prix, the one calling itself General Teddy turned out to be my own shadow. But I accepted my shadow and gained the power to use a persona. But if he's on the screen again, then General Teddy ignores my confusion and continues.
There's no way I'd go away so easily. I mean, a P1 without me is like a tuna sandwich without the tuna.
So,
He can
a
hear
mayonnaise
us.
sandwich.
Isn't he that weird Persona
Delicious.
user named Teddy?
No, he must be the General Teddy who hosted the fighting tournament last time.
Thank you for
He
clarifying.
said he'd been eliminated, though. General Teddy, where did you take Mitsuru-san and the others? If you don't give us a good answer, you're gonna pay!
It's past your bedtime, Cubby. If you're gonna keep giving me lip, I'm not going to explain anything.
Explain?
That's right. I mean, the three of you are very important guest stars in the P1 Climax, after all. So you'll participate, of course, right?
What? What are you after?
If you value the lives of the hostages, you yapping pup, you don't have any choice but to participate.